stress, anxiety, all those type of things, and how to deal with it according to the scriptures, how to overcome it, and pretty much overall what the Most High says about it. So I'm gonna begin with Sirach chapter 2 and verse 1.
This is the book of Sirach, our Ecclesiasticus, chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
So the Most High is saying, once you decide that you want to go down this path, that you accept that you're an Israelite, that you want to serve the Most High, he's saying prepare for adversity. Prepare for situations to come up, unexpected things to happen, things to stress you out, things to kind of lead you astray and pull you away from the Most High. So the Most High is letting it be known, be prepared for this. Be prepared for the adversity. Be prepared for the hurdles, the snares, the setbacks. But it's also the Most High is going to give us tools and understanding on how to overcome these things, how to overcome these battles that's in front of us. So now he says to stay prepared. The scriptures say to be instant in season and out of season. So regardless, when it's your off season, we still got to train during the off season. When it's time for battle, we still got to be ready during the time of the battle too. So in regards to frustration, it's important that we're prepared for these things when they occur. So let's go to Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 5. So the first thing when we're dealing with it is to always remember to put the Most High first. Always remember to have the Most High at the forefront whenever we're faced with these, this tribulation, whenever we're faced with, these setbacks. Read.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding.
So he says the first thing to do is to trust in the Most High. It's easy when we fall into these battles to fall into our own emotions, for us to feel some type of way, for us to, fall susceptible to our own mind, to overthink things, to overstress ourselves out. But the Most High is saying when you're dealing with these things, remember to always acknowledge him, to put him at the forefront. The Most High is the one that fights our battles. Didn't the scripture say the battle is the Lord's? But for some reason, every time we find ourselves in these, form of tribulation or our spiritual battles or our own personal battles, we take it upon ourselves to do these things. And then we end up stressed. We end up overthinking. We end up sad. We end up depressed. We end up anxious. So it's all these things the Most High is saying to alleviate from that, put him at the forefront, to trust him. Meaning to fully rely on him. Not to think, I'm going to save myself, or my friends is going to save me, or my mom or my pops is going to save me. The Most High is going to save us. So now let's go to James chapter 1 and verse 1. So we got to get understanding. Okay, we see that the Most High says prepare yourself for temptation, but why? Why is the Most High putting us through these things? Why is the Most High allowing these things to occur? When we have setback after setback, or a shortcoming or inconvenience, why does the Most High allow these things to happen? Read.
It's the book of James, chapter 1, verse 1. James, a servant of God and of the Lord Yahweh Shai, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. Mm-hmm. My brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into diverse temptations.
He says, count it all joy. Why does he say count it all joy? Mm-hmm. Read.
Knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience.
So now the Most High is saying the reason why you should count it all joy, because now the Most High is acknowledging you. The Most High is showing his love on you to prove you. This is the proving process. So now we all say we love God. We all say we love his son. But now, do we love God when we go through things? When things don't go our way? When things don't go as expected or as planned? Do we still have that same love? We can always voice and say we love somebody and all these type of things, but what happens when things don't go your way? What happens when those setbacks come? Do you still love God? So we see throughout the scriptures, many of our forefathers were tried. Some said they loved God, and they were tested, and it showed that they really didn't love God. Some people were tested, and they showed that they really did love God. And so now everybody in this building, we're being tested on our love for the Most High. And all of our battles is unique. Everybody's battle is personal to you. But the reason why we're here is to pull each other up, So where I'm strong at, I might be able to pull a brother up. Where another brother strong at, he may be able to pull me up. Same thing for the sisters. Where one sister is strong at, she may be able to pull up the other sister. And then the same thing where she's strong at, vice versa, so on and so forth. So it's important to read the next verse.
The book of James, chapter 1, verse 4. But let patience have her perfect work.
So the first thing the Most High says is to have patience. We get anxious because things don't go our way. The reason why we have anxiety is because we want to control things. God. You want to control the outcome of how things work. So you think about the future. I want to control this narrative. I want to make sure I have everything in order so this can be perfect. And that's not how the Most High works. How can you show faith when you're trying to control the future? And the same thing when you're trying to analyze and look back to the past, how you could have did things better. You can't change it. The only thing you can do is where you're at right now. So you can work on yourself. Okay, you know, I messed up. I had that shortcoming. Okay, let me make that adjustment. Let me get back to it. You're in the boxing ring. You got knocked down. You was dazed. But the battle ain't over. You just get back up. Do you think about the last round? Or do you get back up and you get back to work? The goal is to win. So that's the same thing in our spiritual battles. We don't think about, oh, I lost round one. But shoot, we got a whole 12 rounds to go. So let's keep going. So now, finish that.
Verse 4, but let patience have a perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing.
So now, the reason we brought that out is to show clarity as far as what's happening. Why did the Most High is putting us through this? It's to show and improve ourselves, to show ourselves perfect to the Most High. We may have had a negative past, but now what do you do moving forward, starting today? It doesn't matter what happened yesterday. It's a matter of what's happening in this current moment. We talk about we want to have a relationship with the Most High. Okay, where's your relationship currently? You may be far from the Most High, but it's not to say that you can't change and get that relationship and attain that relationship. So that's what the Most High is talking about. He's saying, look, I'm proving you so I can see, are you true to what you say? The scripture say to prove a friend, right? How do you know if a person is your friend? Just because they say they're your friend? They say there's plenty of people that say we was homies, right? When ish hits the fan, what happened? Nowhere to be found. So now the Most High is saying, look, he has to prove you to see who you are. So you can see who you are, and so he can pretty much understand who you are as well. So now let's get Galatians chapter 5, verse 22.
It's the book of Galatians, chapter 5, verse 22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith.
So now what we're dealing with today is frustration. Why do we have frustration? And part of the reason is because we're not operating under the fruits of the Spirit. We're operating under the works of the flesh. What are certain things that cause people to be frustrated? Go to the works of the flesh, verse 19.
Verse 19. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murderers.
So now these are the things when you're envying. You're frustrated because your life isn't going as planned, but you're looking around, you see your brothers, you see everybody else around you, their life looks like it's going well, right? And so now it's not that you're striving to do better and change. You're not doing anything, but instead you're just hating. You're upset. You're staying in the funk, but not doing nothing about it. And the Most High said you're operating in the works of the flesh by doing that. So now the reason why you're frustrated is because you're not taking any action. You're just waiting for things to change, but at the same time complaining. You're waiting for things to fall into your lap. You're looking at your brothers hating on their situation, and you're not doing anything to change that circumstance.
What's that quote? Comparison is the thief of joy. That's exactly what it is.
And that's exactly what leads me to this scripture, Sirach chapter 14, verse 8.
And I think that's really important as well, because when you look at the age of social media, right, what does social media highlight? Only the positive, right? Only anything that's perfect in somebody else and how they living. So then when you're comparing yourself constantly to that lifestyle, then what does it do to your life? You continue to be frustrated. You can't get out of your slump because you're looking on social media on what they doing, right? That's the world that we live in. comparison. What was that in Sirach?
Sirach chapter 14, verse 8.
The book of Sirach, chapter 14, verse 8. That envious men have a wicked eye. He turneth away his face and despiseth men.
So he says he turns his face and he despises me, just hating for no reason. Envying your brother. Your brother's doing well in life. Instead of you asking for pointers on how you can improve your life, you just hating. Matter of fact, not even just hating, you're thinking of ways to sabotage the situation. And that's the destructive mentality of our people. We're self-sabotaging. And so the Most High is saying we got to operate in the fruits of the Spirit. Where's the charity? Where's the love? Where's the long suffering? Long suffering is a form of patience. So you're going through your setback, but now that's not to say you're going to stay there. So now what are you going to do in the meantime of while you're going through your struggle, while you're going through your negative situation? You got to make that change. So now continue.
Verse 9. A covetous man's eye is not satisfied with his portion, and the iniquity of the wicked drive up his soul.
Read Exodus chapter 20, verse 17.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 17. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife.
So now, overall, what the scripture is saying, not to covet, meaning to want something with the wicked intent, to want something that's not yours. And so the reason, like what the Lob just went into, when we're on social media, all we're doing is scrolling. We're looking at everybody's lifestyle and wondering how to get these things. And you end up looking at your life miserable, sad, depressed. But the Most High is saying the reason why you're frustrated is because you're not relying on what the scriptures say. So now read Colossians chapter 3, verse 12.
This is the book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 12. Put on, therefore, as the elect of God, holy and beloved, bowels of mercies, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long suffering, forbearing one another, and forgiving one another. If any man have a quarrel against any, even as Christ forgave you, so also do ye.
So now the Most High is saying to put on a form of humility, forbearing one another, meaning we're all looking out for each other. We got to uplift each other, uplift one another as a nation, as far as in order for us to get out of our situation. Another thing that we do when we're frustrated is some of us feel like we got to handle battles on our own. We feel like we got to take matters into our own hand. When the Most High said it's the reason why we have a unit, the reason why we have a congregation or a family is to uplift one another, to pull each other up when we fall short, to pull each other up when those setbacks happen. And so now, one thing that I wanted to express is the form of communication, of how important it is for us to communicate our shortcomings, for us to communicate, what it is that we've been through or whatever it is that we're experiencing. And so now let's read 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 7. And the primary person we're supposed to communicate it with is the Most High.
This book of 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 7. Casting all your care upon him, for he cared for you. Be sober, be vigilant.
So now it says, casting all your cares, all your worries should be given unto the Most High. You shouldn't be overthinking or worried about or stressed about all your problems. All of that stuff should be within your prayer. So now read Hebrews chapter 13, verse 16.
The book of Hebrews chapter 13 and 16. But to do good and to communicate, forget not, for with such sacrifices God is well pleased.
Read it from the top.
Verse 16, but to do good and to communicate, forget not, for with such sacrifices God is well pleased.
So the Most High is saying to do good, to communicate. So now if you have an issue, if you're going through something, Most High is saying how important it is to take that initiative to communicate. If you got a problem with your brother, you have a problem with your significant other, your wife, your husband, Most High is saying it's important for you to communicate that issue, not to keep it bottled in, not to hold it to yourself and deal with it later. Most High is saying to address it, to communicate your frustrations. A lot of us like to, hide these issues and it comes up at a random moment. And so now the Most High is saying address that situation. Matthew chapter 18.
The book of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 1. At the same time came the disciples unto Yahushua, saying, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? The book of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. But if he will not hear thee, then take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of two or three witnesses every word may be established.
Read.
And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church. But if he neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as an heathen man and a publican.
All right. So now the Most High is saying, if you have an issue with your brother, don't go to the side complaining to other people about your situation. The Most High is saying, deal with it directly. If you have a problem with your fellow sister, the Most High is saying, be direct and let it be known, whatever it is that you're frustrated about. Don't keep it bottled in, be frustrated, and then you end up projecting that on somebody else that didn't really deserve it. So Most High is saying to communicate those frustrations, to talk about it, to have a conversation about it. If they hear you, then you gain your brother, you gain your sister back. If they don't hear you, then you got to bring another witness. And then, of course, we're trying to get the situation resolved. Read on.
Verse 18. Verily I say unto you, whatsoever you shall bind on earth shall be bound in heaven.
All right, read Sirach chapter 8 and verse 14.
The book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 8, verse 14. Go not to law with the judge, for they will judge for him according to his honor. Travel not by the way with a bold fellow.
So now, another thing I wanted to address is the company that we keep. So now, frustrations can happen. Negative things can happen in your life based off of the people you surround yourself with. Setbacks can happen based off of the company that you keep. You kick it with the wrong people, that could mess up your life. That could set you back. That could put you in a negative situation. So the Most High is saying, look, don't travel with a bold fellow. Back in high school, I had plenty of homies that was always on some burnt missions, getting caught up. And so now me associating myself, I can end up in that same situation. So the Most High is saying, look, don't keep company with people that are going to knock you off your square. That's going to knock you off from your purpose. Most High is saying to associate yourself with people that think just like you. Right. They're going to push you and cause you to get back if you do fall. If you do fall short, they're going to push you back in that position in order for you to thrive. So now it's important for you to alleviate yourself from people that are not for your well-being, that aren't for your benefit or as far as your development of you improving as a person. Read Proverbs chapter 25, verse 28.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 25, verse 28. He that have no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls.
So Most High is saying to have a rule over your own spirit, meaning not to be susceptible for anybody coming within your space, not to be easily knocked off your square, not to be easily knocked off your balance. So it's important that, okay, you have rule over your spirit, meaning it says a city that's without walls. If a military was coming into a city and the city didn't have any walls, where's the protection? So that's the same thing where it happens to when you don't have a rule over your spirit. Anybody could come in and get you to knocked off your balance. And so now read that from the top.
Verse 28. He that have no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls.
Read Sirach chapter 11, verse 29.
The book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 11, verse 29. Bring not every man into thine house, for the deceitful man have many trains.
So it says, don't bring everybody within your space. I don't know whoever seen the movie Sinners. So now it's pretty much about vampires, right? But now it's still based off of biblical principles at the same time. So now when it comes to, I guess, the movie Sinners or just how vampires operate, they can't come into your home unless you invite them in. And so the same thing goes for the people we associate ourselves with. Sometimes your life can be negative, and it's negative based off of who you associate yourself with. And so now the Most High is saying, don't allow the deceitful man into your house unless you prove this person, because it says they come with many trains, meaning they come with their baggage. They come with whatever negative energy that they got. You allow them in your space, that can make your life negative. That can make how you feel. You could be having a good day, you just around negative people, and it just throw off your whole equilibrium. Your whole vibe is off, and you can't even really understand why your vibe is off. But it's because of who you surround yourself with. So it's always important that we surround ourselves with good company, that we surround ourselves with people that push us forward, surround ourselves with people, that uplift us rather than pull us down and get us attached to their baggage, get us attached to that, whatever it is that they bring in to the table. So now read that from the top.
God, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 11, verse 29. Bring not every man into thine house, for the deceitful man have many trains.
Right. Read 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 33. So yeah, don't let everybody within your personal space, within your environment, because everybody doesn't mean well. Everybody has their own intent. It says the deceitful man, so everybody's going to come with their own motive. Everybody has their own idea of whatever it is that they want to do, and so it's important that we, try people. The scriptures say try the spirits, right? So it's important that you try everybody that comes within your environment, because if you don't, if you associate yourself with certain people, or you allow people within your space, then you wonder why your life is going a certain way. Sometimes your life isn't going negative because of you. It's who you associate yourself with. So now read
the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 33. Be not deceived. Evil communications corrupt good manners.
Read that one more time.
Be not deceived. Evil communications corrupt good manners.
So now, even the conversations that we have, sometimes you might be we talk about financial literacy. We talk about the scriptures, trying to build up Israel. And then we head up out of here, and then we get into a conversation about somebody that's talking about, tearing down a community. The Most High is saying the conversations that we have affect, how we move. Who we associate with affects how we move. And so read that from the top.
Come on, 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 33. Be not deceived. Evil communications corrupt good manners.
And keep reading.
Awake to righteousness and sin not. For some have not the knowledge of God. I speak this to your shame.
Read Sirach chapter 13 and verse 17. So it's important that we're aware of our conversation, the music that we listen to, the people we associate ourselves with, what we entertain. All these things affect how we operate and how we move and how we feel overall. Read.
The book of Sirach, chapter 13, verse 17. What fellowship have the wolf with the lamb? So the sinner with the godly.
Read.
What agreement is there between the hyena and a dog?
So it says, what fellowship does the wolf have with the lamb? What association does the wolf have with the lamb? So now the wolf is coming to destroy, right? It's coming to devour. So sometimes we're around people that aren't really for our betterment. Sometimes we're looking at people that we surround ourselves with people that's looking for a come up, opportunists. We're surrounding ourselves with people that can that want to actually see us fall. So the Most High is saying, be cognizant of these things too. Don't surround yourself with people that want to see you fail. And sometimes it can be subtle too. You could be like, man, I just want to do this. I want to stay on track. I want to handle my business, make sure my finances is in order. Like, nah, man, ball out. You can splurge a little bit. You're trying to be disciplined. And then your other homies, nah, man, you extra out, man. You don't never have fun. And it's those type of situations. But if they cared about you, like, you know what, man, save your money, bro. This your goal. Let's make sure we get you another bag. Let's make sure we get you in position. That way, when it's time to party, when it is time to go up, then you really got things going for yourself. Not you spending your last and then you regretting it in the morning. It's just those subtle things. It doesn't have to be drastic or anything dramatic. It's just those small things that we're aware of. Read
finish that again.
Yeah, read on.
Verse 17, it says, what fellowship have the wolf with the lamb? So the sinner with the godly.
So the sinner with the godly. If you're trying to be down a righteous path, if you're trying to improve on yourself, you're trying to gain a relationship with the Most High, Why are you kicking with people that don't want a relationship with the Most High?
Right.
Why are you kicking with people that can care less about the Most High? They have their own agenda. They have their own idea as far as what it is that they want to do. Most High saying if you want to improve, you got to surround yourself around people that want to improve. If you want financial stability, you got to be around people that understand money. You want a relationship with the Most High, you got to surround yourself around people that have a relationship with the Most High or striving to have that. So it's all these things. Whatever it is that you're going for, you're going to find it. But it's a matter of if you want it better for yourself, you got to surround yourself around people that want better. Get Colossians chapter 3, verse 23. So once again, as I stated earlier, as far as why we're experiencing frustration is because what we're doing isn't really for the Most High. The way we operate, the way we're moving isn't, we don't have the Most High at the forefront of our mind. We're doing it for somebody else. We're doing it for a friend. We're doing it for a significant other. We're doing it for the glory. We're doing it for the approval of others. And the Most High saying that's why we end up in a negative situation. Read.
Right. What was that?
Colossians chapter 3, verse 23.
The book of Colossians chapter 3, verse 23. And whatsoever ye do it heartily as to the Lord, and not unto men.
So Most High says, whatever it is that you do, it's important that we put the Most High first. If you do it for the Most High, you're going to always come out winning. If you're doing it for man, you're not really going to give it your best effort. But your mindset changes when you say, man, I'm doing this for God. When I go to work, when I'm around my family, when I'm doing whatever it is that I'm doing, I imagine myself that I'm doing it for the Most High. And so you're always going to be the best at what you do. You're always going to shine in whatever it is that you do. Read 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 6.
The book of 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 6.
And read verse 1.
The book of 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 1. And it came to pass, when David and his men were come to Ziklag on the third day, that the Amalekites had invaded the south and Ziklag and smitten Ziklag and burned it with fire, and had taken the women captives that were therein. They slew not any, either great or small, but carried them away and went on their way. So David and his men came to the city, and behold, it was burned with fire.
So now David comes back to the camp. All his men are there, and they see that all their families is gone. Imagine you come home, your wife, your children, everybody's missing. Everything that you built up within your house is all gone. And so now all his men, that's my fault. Can you hear me? Come on. So now all his men are pretty much in a troublesome state. Everybody's worried. Everybody's panicking as far as what's happening. And so now we see what David did when we read verse 6. What did David ended up doing?
Verse 6. And David was greatly distressed, for the people spake of stoning him, because the soul of all the people were grieved, every man for his sons and for his daughters.
So now there was a time period where everybody loved David. Everybody praised David. Everybody wanted to be and surround themselves around David. But now when it's just the fan, now they're ready to stone David. So now you gotta understand this is what happens when you end up putting the people before the Most High. You see what people end up doing. These people that you prioritize aren't going to prioritize you the same way the Most High will. And so now, of course, David having an understanding as far as where his people was at, that they're in an emotional state of being. He didn't panic. He didn't cause himself to fold under that pressure. He didn't get emotional and say, man, the hell with these people. Nah, he doubled down and he locked in. And what did it say that he did? Read verse 6.
But David encouraged himself in the Lord his God.
And that's that's what we have to always do. When we're going through setbacks that no other person can assist you in, you know who can assist you through that? It's the Most High. And so David said he encouraged himself, meaning he had to really reassure himself that God was with him. Sometimes we forget, and it's easy for us to fall into emotion. We can easily fall into an emotional state of being or state of mind and end up not sticking and committing to what the objective was. And so the Most High is saying, read verse 6 again.
Verse 6. And David was greatly distressed, for the people spake of stoning him, because the soul of all the people was grieved, every man for his sons and for his daughters. But David encouraged himself in the Lord his God.
So it's important when all is when you're against all odds, when it seems like there's no way to get up out of the situation, when it seems that your back is up against the wall. It said at first he was, trouble, but at the same time, he had to encourage himself. Sometimes you have to remind yourself who's fighting your battles for you. You have to remind yourself that the Most High is with you. And that's how you overcome those battles. So it's important that we set that reminder for ourselves. Read verse 8.
Verse 8. And David inquired at the Lord, saying, shall I pursue after this troop? Shall I overtake them? And he answered him, pursue, for thou shalt surely overtake them, and without fail recover all.
So the Most High, once David put his emotions to the side, once he decided to lock in and rely on the Most High, what did the Most High tell him? He said, you're going to recover everything. Your wives, your children, the stuff these Amalekites thought they spoiled, you're going to retrieve everything back. So sometimes that's the test that the Most High puts us through. Sometimes the Most High might snatch everything just to see how you respond. And it might be for a day or two. And if you panic and fold, Most High, he weak. I can't work with him. That ain't my servant. All you have to do is just pray and talk to the Most High. All you have to do is communicate with the Most High. It's like, that's all I wanted to see you do. I just wanted to see if you were still with it. I just wanted to see if you were scared or not. So now the Most High is showing, that's pretty much what the Most High is expressing. Sometimes we go through the battle may be short term, and sometimes the battle may be long term, but it's still the same battle no matter what it is that we're going through. Most High is just testing your faith. He's testing to see, are you going to rely on him? And so we see David, instead of him falling susceptible to what the people were going to do, they were going to stone him. He could have got emotional. Like, man, these people, I fought all their battles. Mind you, you got to consider what David was going through, because this wasn't just what he was experiencing. Mind you, he was running from his father-in-law. His father-in-law is trying to kill him. Right. Who is the king? He lost his 2 wives. And then when we get into it, it showed that 400, he only had like a small military, 400 men with him. Some of his men stayed behind because they were either weak or they were kind of scared as far as what was going on. And so now David had to really buckle down and really lock in and rely on the Most High to overcome those battles.
And that's cold right there too, because the Most High told him to pursue the battle. Mm-hmm. And he go out there with 400 men, right. But while he's out there, what they said, like half of them didn't make it.
Said 2. So yeah, 600 men, 200 of them stayed back.
So then imagine how he would feel. Well, the Lord told me to pursue this battle, and I'm going out 400 men ready to fight this war. Mm-hmm. But now half of my team is tired, or half of my team can't make it now. Right. Now that builds that doubt within your mind. So it's like the Most High kind of puts you through things. He give you instructions on what you're supposed to do, and then you feel good. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. But then while you're on the journey, and then that doubt kick in.
That battle's still going on.
That doubt come. Yeah. What was that? Oh, ye a little faith?
Right.
Right.
And that's the thing, because the Most High gave him the reassurance that he needed, but the test isn't over. Yeah. That's the thing. The Most High might give you a little assistance, but you still got to squab. You still got to get down. I might assist you through this battle, but you still got to throw hands.
So you're gonna win, but you got to fight them.
Exactly. So that's the principle that the Most High is giving to us, is that it's important when it's just a fan, when things don't necessarily go as planned. I'm over here rhyming, but it's important that we lock in and we pray to the Most High, that we turn to the Most High, and that we're committed to the Most High, and knowing that He's going to deliver us from whatever it is that we're experiencing. Read chapter 30, verse 16.
The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 30, verse 16. And when he had brought him down, behold, there was spread abroad upon all the earth, eating and drinking and dancing.
So now here we got these Edomites, these Amalekites, and came in, spoiled the camp, took everything, took our wives, took our children, our spoils, and now they just turning up off of whatever it is that they stole from you. So you can imagine where David's mentality was at. What did they do? What does it say?
It says, they were spread abroad upon all the earth, eating and drinking and dancing, because of all the great spoil that they had taken outside Salakia, that had taken out of the land of the Philistines and out of the land of Judah. And David smote them from the twilight even unto the evening of the next day.
From day to nighttime, morning to nighttime, they started slaughtering the Amalekites. The Most High said, you're going to for sure recover everything, because he relied on the Most High. And so now that's the overall principle of what's being relayed is when we rely on the Most High is able to restore us. He's not going to tell you when you're going to be restored, but the Most High said it's an easy thing. This is nothing to me. All I'm doing is proving you. We see what happened with Job. Job lost everything. Job lost everything. He lost his family. He lost his physical health. He lost his mind. He lost everything. And what did the Most High do? It said he restored to him double. Why? Because he was faithful to the Most High. What was the one thing after Job lost everything? He said, though he destroyed me, I shall maintain my way. Meaning, regardless of whatever it is that he was experiencing, he's still strong in the faith of the Most High. And so how many of us are willing to do that when, our little setbacks end up occurring? When things don't go as planned, or we lose a friend, or we get into an altercation with a family member, so on and so forth. How do we deal with that? Do we panic? Do we get frustrated? Do we, roll over and fold whenever things don't go as planned? Or do we buckle down and lock in and turn to the Most High? So now read verse 18 again.
Verse 18. And David recovered all the Amalekites had carried away. Mm-hmm. And David rescued his 2 wives. And there was nothing lacking to them, right? Neither small nor great, neither sons nor daughters, neither spoil nor anything that they had taken to them. David recovered all.
He said he recovered everything, right? Read verse 21, because the next thing I want to discuss is, just read it.
Verse 21, and David came to the 200 men, which were so faint that they could not follow David.
So now, imagine you win. The Most High delivered you out of the hand of your enemies. You got everything back. And now you coming back to the 200 men. They want to be a part of the festivities, right?
Now they want to turn up. They want to reap the benefits.
What did they say? You wasn't shooting with me in the gym, right?
Right.
But now you want to be a part of the festivities. So now the thing is, us regular people wouldn't be like, you can't participate in this, right? But this shows you what David's character was. What did David end up doing?
Verse 21, and David came to the 200 men, which were so faint that they could not follow David, whom they had made also to abide at the brook of Bazar. Mm-hmm. And they went forth to meet David and to meet the people that were with him. Right. And when David came near to the people, he saluted them. Then answered all the wicked men and men, Salakia. Then answered all the wicked men and men of Belial, and those that went with David, and said, because they went not with us, we will not give them all of the spoil that we have recovered.
So he called them men of Belial. The people that were saying you wasn't shooting with us in the gym. Most High said those are men of Belial, meaning wicked. Because the Most High saying, although they might have had a weak moment, those are still David's men. And they still fought the battles of Israel. They were still in the military. They still handled business. And so now it shows you you may have a weak moment in your life. That doesn't discredit you from still participating within the victories of the Most High. It doesn't disqualify you from participating in what the Most High has in store for you. So now it's important that you acknowledge it. You was weak. You fell short. But now you still get to participate if you lock in and you still trust in the Most High. And that's the exact. What did David tell his men?
God says, say to every man his wife and his children, that they may lead them away and depart. Then said David, ye shall not do so, my brethren.
So yeah, they were telling, hey man, y'all don't get to participate in this video. Y'all take your wives, your children, y'all get on. But what did David say?
With that which the Lord had given us, who have preserved us and delivered the company that came against us into our hand. Mm-hmm. For who will hearken unto you in this matter? But as his part is that goeth down to the battle, so shall his part be that tarrieth by the stuff.
Exactly. So now, who was it that delivered them? Delivered the Amalekites into their hand? It was the Most High. When we think, oh, you wasn't shooting with us in the gym, that's us taking matters into our own hand, like we was the ones that won that battle. It was the Most High. And that's what David was sharing to his men. It's like, bro, the Most High got us a victory. He said we was going to recover everything. Most High literally delivered them into our hands. And so now, okay, they was weak at this moment. Okay, let's still show compassion to our people. Let's still show unity. Let's still show charity for those that are weak. Right. For those that fell short. Most High said, still look out for them. So now, the reason I brought that out is not to take your frustrations out on other people. You may be going through something, but whoever it is that's in front of you it's important for you not to project your frustrations on people that don't deserve it. So now David, it's clear that he was frustrated as far as what he was going through. He lost his 2 wives. He was running from his father-in-law. He's experiencing his men that backed down from the fight. made it a little bit more harder, the odds more harder when going against the this Edomite military. But at the same time, it's like, man, I'm not gonna take it out on y'all. We're just gonna deal with this situation, and y'all still get to participate in the victory. So it's important for us to also have that take that into consideration too. Some people don't. Nobody deserves, for you to take out your frustration on them. You got to deal with that matter. If it pertains to somebody else, deal with that person and address the situation. But don't go around and taking your frustrations out on somebody else that has nothing to do with the situation. And so now, let's read Ephesians chapter 4, verse 26.
The book of Ephesians chapter 4, verse 26. Be angry and sin not.
So the Most High says you got permission to be angry. You have permission to be upset as far as whatever it is that you're going through. But now it's not about what happens to you. It's about how you respond. So you may be going through something. Stress, when a person is stressed, the Most High is saying how you respond, don't react. Don't get emotional when these things happen to you. Read it from the top.
Be angry and sin not. Mm-hmm. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath. Mm-hmm. Neither give place to the devil.
Right. So now, when you're upset, the Most High is saying, don't allow that stress to go with you when the sun goes down, meaning deal with it. You got to address these things. A lot of us, we don't address our issues. We don't address, whatever it is that we're experiencing. If you don't like something, you got to address that. You got to let it be known. If a person offended you, you got to let it be known that they offended you. Sometimes we get mad, and then that person doesn't even know that you're mad. Sometimes we're upset and side-eyeing a person, and that person don't even know that you upset. Like, what did you mad about? So Most High saying, look, don't get emotional when you go through your struggles, whatever it is that you go through. It's important that you stay calm, take a deep breath and address the situation that's in front of you, just as David did. What did he say? He encouraged himself in the Lord. What does that mean to encourage yourself? I mean, he prayed. He turned to the Most High and put 100% faith in the Most High. And that's how he was able to overcome the situation. So it's important for us to do the same thing. Somebody did you wrong? Okay, don't get emotional about it. Don't do the same thing that they did to you. How's that going to be fruitful? No, it's important for me to, I'm going to address the situation. It's going to be addressed, but I'm going to deal with it accordingly to what the Most High told him. Read, let's see. Read 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? If any man defile the temple of God, him shall God destroy.
So now another thing, as far as why we may be stressed or, anxious, so on and so forth, is our diet. What we eat, what we partake in. We talked about, what we engage in as far as the things we listen to, conversations, so on and so forth. But it's also your diet plays a part too. How often do we exercise? How often do we, just go for a walk and just get some sun? And the Most High set everything in order for a reason. The sun is for our benefit too. Getting vitamin D. It helps with your mood. So now all of these things, as far as, you got to do two things: stay cooped up in a house and be down, or you can go outside and really get some fresh air, get active and move. So Most High saying, when you defile your temple, because we usually use this scripture when we're talking about smoking and stuff like that, but it's also your diet. Your diet plays a part in regards to this being your temple. So now you just constantly eating junk food. I'm a part of that too. I had junk food all week, and I was wondering why I was feeling like just off a little bit. Yeah, I was like, man, something ain't right. And I was like, damn, did I even exercise? And I was like, okay, I got to get active. So a part of the reason why you might be feeling a little, off balance is because you're not active. You got to move. You got to eat right. Sometimes, it's cool every now and then to get some fast food, to stop by and get you something, but nothing beats eating a home cooked meal, cooking for yourself. So The Most High is saying it's he's your if you're the dwelling place of the Most High, how should your body be?
A reflection.
Exactly. So your diet, what you eat, what you engage in, all these things play a part as far as why you feel the way that you do. Yeah, I'm not telling everybody you got to exercise like how I exercise or take it to the extreme or nothing, but be active, move around, get some sun, go for a hike, go for a walk, and really, that'll change how you really feel. It'll change how your overall mood of how you feel about yourself and what's going on in the world. You'll realize the stuff that you're stressing about really ain't worth stressing over by just going for a quick little walk. When somebody offends you, the way you want to react, you might want to hurt somebody, but at the same time, let me walk away. Let me step back. Let me go for this little walk real quick so I can calm down. So the Most High is showing us how important it is not to just react, but to respond. There's a difference. Reacting is just going based off of impulse, just how you feel at that very moment. But when you respond, you're addressing it in a logical form. You know exactly, and you're intentional as far as what it is that you're doing. So we got to be intentional about our overall health because our physical health affects our mental health as well. So now, if your diet isn't up to par, your mental is not going to be up to par. So you're going to be sluggish. Your mood's going to be off. Everything's just going to be off kilter. It's going to be messed up. So it's important that we're mindful of what we eat and that we stay active. You wanted to say something?
No, yeah, I was gonna say that's a real good point because I've done it. I think we all have done it. But when you're stressed out, all right, you're not gonna go eat no veggies. You stressed out, you about to go get you a burger.
Stress eating.
Go get you some. Y'all be eating some hot dogs, right? Y'all, you had pancakes for breakfast, right? Had hot dogs for lunch, right? And they had a burger for dinner. And say, well, I don't feel good today, man. I'm down. I'm irritated. So I think that's a good topic to harp on because how they say like your gut health or your gut feeling. Right? Your gut feeling could tell you depressed. Right. But then what you feed in your gut is what's causing you to feel that depression.
Right. Those parasites.
Yeah, not for real.
Like a lot of folks got parasites and those affect your mood. You just be having a regular day and just out of nowhere just be sad for no reason. That's them parasites. And to deal with it, you can go on a cleanse, flush all of that out, get that negative. Because, the scripture, the battle is spiritual and physical. So the scriptures show us how to deal with our battle spiritually, but it also tells us how important it is to fight the battle physically as well. And so now our diet plays a part in order for us to fight those spiritual battles too. This is our vessel for the meantime. So it's important that we take care of it, that we're mindful and that we're not just indulging in everything that's in front of us, that we're not just excessive in whatever it is. Food is lawful, but when you overindulge in food, then it turns into gluttony. Alcohol is lawful, but when we overindulge in alcohol, it's a lot of health problems that could come out of that. And so now you want to talk about being anxious. You could be anxious because you're drinking too much liquor. You could be stressed because it's too much liquor. So now it's important that you flush these things out of your body. The scripture doesn't speak against these things, but it's important that, we're doing things in moderation at the same time, that we're thinking about our health. Not even just the moment. Like I'm young right now, but shoot, when I'm 40, 50, I'm like, this is going to catch up to me. When I'm in my 60s, it's going to catch up to me. So we're thinking about our future overall as far as what we're doing right now, as far as our eating habits, as far as how active we are, how we're moving around, who we associate ourselves with, the company you keep. Because, like I said, that even goes, diet plays a part, even with the company you keep. Like, man, I'm on a strict diet, and you go kick around your homies that's not eating the same thing that you eating. You trying to eat healthy, you eating salads. They eating burgers and hot dogs. You're like, hey, man, you always eating them salads, man. And it might make you feel a little off. Like, damn, man, get this burger then. Knowing good or well, you're not supposed to be eating this burger today. But if you're kicking around people that are on the same mentality, like, man, I'm trying to go on this cleanse, trying to, improve like this, be around a sister or brother that's on the same mindset. Or be around a person that will support you in that situation. So they may not even be on the same diet plan, but they might be like, you know what? I don't need to do this, but I'm with you. I'm going to still do this cleanse with you just so we can get you there. So it's the same thing. That's why it's important for us to have, people that love us around us, for us to surround ourselves with a solid support system, because all of us have something that we got to work on. We got a spiritual battle you might need to conquer, or it's a physical battle. Regardless, we need support. A brother might, like for myself, I'm trying to put on weight. Okay, so I'm gonna be around brothers that's eating. You know what I'm saying? So I'm about to start bulking up. I'll get you right, Mac. We're gonna get this protein. We're gonna get these steak dinners. We're gonna do the whole night. I don't eat steak. I just do that as an example. But nonetheless, surround yourself with people that's gonna push you towards your goals. That's not gonna pull you away from whatever it is. If you're on a diet plan, if you're trying to improve your life, surround yourself around people that's gonna help and support you on that diet plan. That's gonna support you on that spiritual journey or whatever it is that you're going through. Come on, look at that.
It's a precept. The book of Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 30, verse 15. It says, health and good estate of body are above all gold.
It says above all gold. It's a lot of people with health problems that wish or desire to be in your position right now. It's a lot of people that's experiencing some going through a lot and would desire to be in your situation. And you have you're in a situation where you could preserve your well-being. You could preserve where you currently are. And if you not even just preserve, you can improve. You might be good, but then you could still elevate. You might be strong, but you could get more stronger. So the Most High is saying this is worth more than gold. There's a lot of rich people that are in the hospital right now that desire, they'll give everything up just to walk, just to breathe correctly, just to move and be mobile correctly. They'll give up all those riches. Millionaires that'll give all that up. The Most High saying, look, I already gave you the vessel. You good. Just maintain it. Keep the upkeep. Same thing as your house. You're not just gonna throw all your trash on the floor. Got burgers laid out on the carpet. Got shoes, mud stains all on the rug. You're gonna make sure it's clean. It smells good in there. You're gonna light the incense. You're gonna make sure the candles smell. It's the same thing how you should treat your body. You're not just gonna throw anything in there. Most High said, didn't he say we're holy? Get Deuteronomy 7 verse 6. We use that, when we street teaching in that regard, but it's the same thing.
So book of Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
Said that we're holy. What does holy mean? It means clean, set apart, sanctified. So the same thing, how we should behave in as far as the way we move is supposed to be in a holy manner, in a righteous manner. In our house, our homes, it should be like, man, the Most High pulled up on me. It's clean. Same thing about my body. It's my temple is clean. And so now that's pretty much the overall thing as far as us maintaining our health, that we're mindful of these things, that we're not overthinking, or as far as what's going on, but that we address it. If I'm trying to get stronger, okay, let me do what it takes to get stronger. If I'm trying to put on my weight, okay, well, let me do what it takes to put on my weight. If I'm trying to get faster, if I'm trying to be more mobile, more agile, so on and so forth, let me do what it takes to get there. Be intentional about those things. So now, get to Sirach chapter 14, verse 11. So it's not just about, just exercise and everything, but it's just your overall mood. Exercise helps your mood. You being mobile helps the way you feel. It helps your mind. So it's important, like whether it's weightlifting, whether it's squats, whether it's push-ups, whether it's just moving and going for a walk in the community. All these things, it helps with your mental health. You got that? Sirach 14, verse 11.
The book of Sirach, chapter 14, verse 11. My son, according to thy ability, do good to thyself and give the Lord his due offering.
So the Most High is telling you to be good to yourself. When you make a mistake, everybody, we end up kicking ourselves. Man, I should never did that. You end up thinking about something. You might have been happy one day, and you think about something that happened in the past 5 years ago, and it makes up your whole mood. Mess up the whole vibe. The Most High said, let all that go. Repent from whatever it is that you went wrong and move forward. He said, but don't stay in that negative space. That's not what the Most High wants for you. Most High doesn't want you to stay depressed or stay sad or stay in your sorrow. Only thing that the Most High wants for you to do is to acknowledge it and move forward. If you sin or if you had a setback or whatever it is, address the mistake and then keep it pushing. But what does he say? Read it from the top. He said, don't do what?
The book of Sirach, chapter 14, verse 11. My son, according to thy ability, do good to thyself.
He said, do good to yourself. Keep reading.
And give the Lord his due offering.
So it says, according to your ability, you may not have all the money in the world, but based off of your current situation, still have a form of gratitude. Be grateful as far as where it is that you currently are. You may not have the flyest car, the flyest crib, or whatever it is, but as far as you being able to breathe today, that you woke up this morning, Most High saying be happy about that, because that is a blessing. That we're all surrounded and we're all here in this space together. The Most High says that's a blessing. Whatever it is in your ability, if you got the money, splurge on yourself. If you got the bread, take yourself out, treat yourself. Bring other people with you and treat them. The Most High saying to do those things because it helps, you know, for you to feel good. It helps your mental. Read on.
Verse 12. It says, remember that death will not be long in coming, and that the covenant of the grave is not showed unto
So he's
thee.
saying we all got to go someday. So you ain't no use in stressing about it. He's saying, look, enjoy the day. It's sunny outside. Summer's about to hit. The Most High say, look, enjoy the day. You broke, you can still have fun when you broke. It's plenty of ways to have fun when you broke. And then we got family. Even if you broke, people gonna make sure you still good, support you. So it doesn't matter as far as us overthinking. Man, I don't know if I can, you know, do this. I don't got the money for it. All right, well, find something that don't cost money and enjoy that. Going for a walk around the park, feeding some ducks. If that's what it is, go do that. Take your kids out. One thing, being around your children, you gotta that's gonna put a smile on your face, because kids don't worry about nothing. They'll have fun. I took my nieces and nephews. I'm thinking I'm about to spend all this money. They didn't care about none of the stuff I'm about to spend. They worried about just yogurt. Then spill all the yogurt in the back seat of the car. I'm like, hey, whatever, man. But that's it. They're content. And that's why the Most High said, you can't come to me unless you come as a child. Because children are grateful. Children have a form of, and I ain't gonna lie, no, my nieces and nephews are spoiled at the same time, but they're still grateful as far as whatever it is that you give them. They don't side eye. Whatever it is, if I give them some yogurt, oh, they cool for a long time. Give them a toy, whatever it is, they fine. That's how the Most High wants us to be. Whatever it is, if we're going through a setback, the Most High is like, look, just know I got you. Same thing like you may be a parent and you're going through your setback and you just look at your kids. Your kids don't have no type of worry. They not, because they know that you're going to make something happen. They know that you're going to make something say, hey, my pops got it. My mom's got it. I don't got to worry about nothing. That's what the Most High wants us to feel. So when I'm going through something, I'm like, yeah, I did go through that, but my pops got it. My heavenly pops got it. So he wants us to operate in that same fashion. Like, okay, be at peace. It says be still. What does it mean to be still? Meaning don't panic. Don't worry. What was the main thing that he told Joshua when he took on the mantle after Moses? He said, be strong and of a good courage. And you'll see that like 20 times within that same chapter. Most High saying, be strong and of a good courage. So he's letting me know that your battle's not going to be easy, but at the same time, still be strong and know who's with you. Right. Know who has your back. Know who your support system is at the same time. I think it's Psalm chapter 27. I think it's the last verse.
Wait on the Lord.
Let me see. I want that 14, but it was another verse in there. But go ahead, read that. I'll find it later.
The book of Psalms, chapter 27, verse 14. Wait.
No, read verse 10 and then read verse 14.
The book of Psalms, chapter 27, verse 10. When my father and my mother forsake me, then the Lord will take me up.
So now the Most High brought this as an example, regardless of who you're surrounded yourself by, whether it's family, whether it's friends. If nobody has your back, he's letting it be known that the Most High has your back. That the Most High is his support to pick him up out of whatever that rut that he's in. Read verse 14.
Verse 14. Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thy heart. Mm-hmm. Wait, I say, on the Lord.
And notice how you have to say it again, because we get impatient. We get frustrated. Why? Because things aren't going as planned. That was what happened with Moses. What caused him to not be able to get into the promised land? It was two things that happened. He was frustrated. He allowed people to when we went into Proverbs, he said, a man that can't rule a spirit is like a city without walls. So now anybody could come in and knock you off your guard. Moses knew exactly what he was supposed to do. Most High told him exactly what to happen. He said, speak to the rock. What they say? Hey, hit the rock, Moses. Got in his head. And Moses like, man, let's read that. I get what's that? I knew it was a scripture missing. Get Numbers 20 and 10.
The book of Numbers, chapter 20, verse 10. And Moses and Aaron gathered the congregation together before the rock. And he said unto them, hear now, ye rebels, must we fetch you water out of this rock? And Moses lifted up his hand, and with his rod, he smote the rock twice, and the water came out abundantly.
So now the Most High still delivered the water. That shows you, even through our sin and even through us going against the Most High still shows support to us. But what happened in this situation is that what did the Most High say to Moses?
Verse 12. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, because ye believe me not to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel, therefore you shall not bring this congregation into the land which I have given them.
Man. Imagine going through everything that Moses went through, from leaving Egypt, seeing all these miracles, all these plagues happen in Egypt, to go all the way through all these lands and all these, to witness everything, all these acts of the Most High, and for the Most High to say you can't enter into the promised land because you didn't have faith. Just one small moment, one mistake of you not having faith with the Most High could cost you. It could cost you. So it's us being cognizant of that too. Like, okay, me not relying on the Most High can cost my future. Me going off the opinions of others based off of how everybody else feels and not going based off of how the Most High feels can cost me my life. So it's showing it's not a matter of what my loved ones think. It doesn't matter what my pops thinks or my mom or what brothers think. It's a matter of what the Most High told me to do. And that's the determining factor as far as whether we succeed or whether we fail. Read, keep reading. Oh, you got something?
No, I was gonna say, man, that's cold, because if you know about this story, the children of Israel was complaining a whole lot and being thirsty, and the Lord is like, I need you to speak to the rock, and the rock is gonna give you his water. But he hit the rock, and it still gave water. But the spiritual side of it is they got temporary fulfillment for that time being, which they didn't get to the promised land,
right?
But they didn't get that living water.
Exactly.
All right. So that's cold, man. That's cold.
Real talk. As I mentioned earlier, the Most High is still going to deliver. He's still going to assist us, but now at the same time, it's not the overall blessing as far as we were supposed to get it. We had to just listen. He might give you a little crumb, but at the same time, the Most High said, I wanted to give you the whole plate. And all you have to do is just show some faith. What's going on?
I was always a little confused about that moment right there. So if I understand this clearly, the Most High told Moses to speak to the rock, not to strike it. the Israelites complaining Moses struck it, and so now he wasn't able to go into the promised land.
Right.
Am I correct?
So when you look into this story, the first thing, this miracle happened twice. The first time the water came out is after he struck the rock. And so now the second time, Most High told him to do something different. He told him to speak to the rock. And so now the people were frustrated and they were kind of, provoking. They were provoking Moses. And Moses was like, man, I'm going to give these people what they want. And sometimes at that moment, that's where he really messed up. Just that one mistake. Because now, just imagine the seat that Moses sat in. You're the leader of the people. You're a direct messenger of the Most High. And now you deliberately went against what the Most High told you to do. How does that trickle down as far as within the community, as far as how Israel's going to move? It's going to cause Israel to continue to move in disarray. So the Most High had to make an example out of Moses. Like, look, I will shut down my most trustworthy servant to make an example. So it's showing like we're not exempt. The Most High is not a respecter of persons. He's like, if I told you to do something, we got to do it. If I told you got to have faith, be strong and of a good courage, Joshua took heed. Like, I'm buckle down, I'm gonna lock in. It's not to say that your battle is not gonna be hard, but he's saying, look, I'm gonna be with you. He said that plenty of times throughout the scriptures. So it's important for us to trust it, even when we're against all odds. Read the scripture. He said he'll make a way in the wilderness, rivers in the desert. What's Isaiah? Um, 43 verse 19. Isaiah chapter 43 verse 19.
The book of Isaiah chapter 43 verse 19. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert.
So he said, I'm gonna make a way in the wilderness. The wilderness is filled with trees. There's no paths. There's no clear direction as far as where you're gonna go. And then as far as a river in the desert, we go to Arizona. We go to New Mexico, Texas. How likely are you to run into a river? How likely are you to run into a river in the middle of nowhere? So Most High saying, look, even in the most impossible situations where you feel like all odds is against you, where you feel like everything's going left, he said, I'm gonna deliver you. I'm gonna make a way. Only thing I need for you is I need your faith. That's all I require from you. Read and what was that? All mental health? Get Psalms chapter 118, verse 24. 118, verse 24. So yeah, just kind of going back into like the mental health of exercise and all that kind of stuff. It's also important to rest. You know what I'm saying? We oftentimes, even on a Sabbath day, which literally means to rest, we're doing everything but that. Even in the Hebrew community, we're thinking about working tonight. We're thinking about bills. We're thinking about, damn, how I'm gonna pay this next week. How I'm gonna do this, and we're doing it. We're not really resting. We may be still, but mentally, everything your mind is running, and we know that ultimately is what drains the body. And so now the Most High is saying, look, rest. Get Exodus chapter 20, verse 8.
This is the book of Exodus chapter 20 verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
So it's a day the Most High literally called rest. Most High said, remember this day. And all I want you to do is rest. Don't think about your 9 to 5. Don't think about what bill you're going to pay. You can get to that when the sun go down and handle that business later. Most High saying, look, enjoy the day. Enjoy where you at. He woke you up this morning. Give him his glory. Give him his praise. But at the same time, stop stressing about what's happening tomorrow when you can enjoy the day. Didn't Christ say that? It's enough evil for tomorrow. Deal with the situation today. Enjoy the day. You got your company of your brother. You got the company of your sisters. Enjoy the company that you have. Right. Instead of just worrying about the future. That's why a lot of us end up experiencing anxiety, because we're thinking too far ahead, and we're trying to figure out and be meticulous or calculated about everything. The Most High said, look, even when you think that you got it calculated, I'm gonna throw something else in there because you think you got me figured out, and you don't. Only thing I want you to do is have faith. So now read that for the Sabbath.
Exodus chapter 20 verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
So he said, you got 6 days to deal with everything that's stressing you out, to address those things. You got 6 days to buy, to sell, do whatever it is that you need to do. But on the seventh day, I need you to refrain from all of that. I need you to give 110% to the Most High and focus on it, and focus on peace, focus on charity, focus on the fruits of the Spirit, instead of worrying about all the things of the flesh of how to maintain this carnal life that we already had. So don't worry about those things. We'll read Psalms chapter 118, verse 24.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 118, verse 24. This is the day which the Lord have made. We will rejoice and be glad in it.
He said, this is the day. Not just every day in general. That's what we have to acknowledge when we wake up in the morning. The Most High woke me up today. Where's the gratitude? You may be broke. Who's to say tomorrow you can't have bread? Most High say, look, it's an easy thing on the sudden for the Lord to make a poor man rich. Most High is just literally watching how you respond to things. He's observing how you move and operate. You might suffer for a short season, and the Most High might reward you for a longer season. But ultimately, it's about how we respond to these things. How do you move when things don't go according to plan? Do you forget the Most High? Oh, man, I got to go to work. There's a lot of people that's willing to break the Sabbath because they're trying to maintain the flesh. They're trying to maintain this in this captivity. Make that make sense. You know, we got into this captivity by breaking the Sabbath. And in order to thrive in this captivity, we're going to continue to break the Sabbath, right? That's the logic, but it's easy for us to fall into that mindset when you're struggling. Yeah. You start rationalizing dumb stuff. You start making the most dumbest things make sense. I mean, if I work at 4 o'clock, I got about 3 hours left. So, technically I ain't breaking the full Sabbath. It's a couple hours. I should be good. You start making stuff up in your head to appeal to whatever it is that you're going for. And so Most High is saying, look, stop. Just breathe for a second. Just breathe. You got to feed your family. I get it. You got to make sure your wife is taken care of. You got to make sure you're taken care of. Your car, so on and so forth. But at the same time, you got to make sure the Most High is taken care of too. Right. Did we get the Most High's glory today? Or did we give him all this worry and panic and stress? He don't need that. He don't deserve that. So at the same time, read that from the top.
The book of Psalms, chapter 118, verse 24. This is the day which the Lord have made. We will rejoice and be glad in it.
So yeah, just remember, the purpose of the Sabbath. It's to rest. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we go street teaching to acknowledge our people, but at the same time, when we have the Most High at the forefront of our mind, that's the real rest. When we're dealing in the scripture say this, the word is our rest. So it's important to leave all the stuff from yesterday, leave that behind, and who knows what's happening tomorrow. You can have a whole plan tomorrow, go completely in a different direction. You might be worried about tomorrow. The Most High be like, man, you was cool today, so I'm gonna set you up. Everything's gonna go well tomorrow. So it's always how we're moving. It's always how we put the Most High at the Most High first. He said, do it heartily unto the Lord, not unto men. So you may be stressed because you're trying to provide for your family, but okay, did you do what the Lord told you to do? If you do what the Most High told you to do, it's like, hey, I'm gonna easily put you in a position to provide for your family. It's easy, it's nothing. But the moment you're like, man, you prioritize your family over the Most High, so I'm gonna divide all of that up. I'm gonna take all of this stuff from you. Everything that you're striving for, I'm gonna strip that from you. Because what does that become? Now it becomes idolatry. What do you say? Who puts father, mother, son, daughter before me is not worthy of me. So it's important that we prioritize the Most High, that we prioritize the Son. And that's whatever it is that we're experiencing, that's how we overcome those things. Another thing I want to address, get 2 Timothy 4, verse 2.
The book of 2 Timothy, chapter 4, verse 2. Preach the word. Be instant in season, out of season. Reprove, rebuke, exhort.
So now we oftentimes we use it for brothers when we're doing drills. We got to be sharp. whenever heretics come in, ask us questions. But this is also applies to just your everyday life. Be prepared. You don't know. I'm not telling you to worry, but also be prepared for the expect the unexpected. When it does hit the fan, you're not panicking because you're already prepared for it. When it's time, when we playing either we're in boxing, I'm not scared to get in the ring because I'm prepared for it. I'm not scared to get hit or get punched because I'm prepared for these things. So I'm not about to buckle because I trained for it. Oh, he that connected with my chin. Oh, he got me, but I ain't dazed. I'm not falling down because I prepared. I trained for these things. So the same thing goes for as far as where we are right now. You may be in your moment of peace. I'm not telling you to be worried about when the adversity comes back. Right. All I'm saying is there's a time and place for everything. So also be prepared. Don't start getting emotional when things go left too. What did Job say? So we have good from the Lord and not evil. It's balance. So things may go good. You might be in a season, hey, things is going good. I'm not putting it on y'all that things going to go negative, but prepare for it. Prepare for the setbacks. And then also when you're going through your setbacks, it's not going to always be negative. Prepare for the blessings. And when the blessings come, don't be thinking about the setbacks coming back. Just enjoy every moment as far as where it's at right now and put 100%, 110% faith in the Most High, regardless of what you're going through. Isn't that what Paul said? He said, I know how to be both full and empty. You know what he said? Am I making that up? I probably made that up. Oh.
Now I know over the week, me and my wife was reading like Proverbs 31, and it was an interesting point that was brought out though too, because in Proverbs 31 it said a virtuous woman says she's not afraid when the rain comes. She says she's not afraid because her household is prepared.
Right.
So it's a well-rounded thing that within the community that we have to have. Right. It's preparing for the good and the bad, but don't sit there and be like, well, everything going good, so something bad must be happening or coming next. But being able to still be prepared, even if that did happen, I got a backup plan. Right. So it's the same thing for brothers, same thing for sisters. All right. That Proverbs 31 said that she said that she made sure that her family was good even when the storm came. Right. And that's strong. Go ahead.
Philippians chapter 4, verse 12.
4 and 12. Mm-hmm. The book of Philippians chapter 4, verse 12. I know both how to be abased and I know how to abound.
He said, I know how to go through the struggle. You know what I'm saying, make them spreads. I know how to do the whole nine. And then when it's good, get the whole creme brulee, whatever, bougie meal, I know exactly what to do with that. So he's saying, look, when I'm going through my setbacks, I know how to thrive. When I'm going through my blessing, and the Most High elevates me, I know how to thrive in that too. And I know how to be content, regardless of whatever it is I'm experiencing. I'm always grateful. You know what I'm saying? Read.
Verse 12, I know both how to be abased and I know how to abound. Everywhere and in all things, I am instructed both to be full and to be hungry.
He said, be full and be hungry, meaning to expect the unexpected. Be prepared. Not to worry about what's going to happen, right, but expect it. To be prepared when it does happen. What happened with Joseph? He had the 7 years of plenty and also the 7 years of famine. So Most High showing them balance. And then we all know 7 means completion. So it's showing you'll have a moment where things are going completely left. Everything's falling apart. But you also have a moment in your life where things is going perfect. That's just the balance of the Most High. And when things are going perfect, don't think about the negatives. Don't dwell on those things as far as, man, when is it going to come back? Just prepare. Just handle your responsibilities for when it does occur, if it does occur, that you're ready. Right. So now read 2 Timothy 4 and verse 2 one more time.
The book of 2 Timothy chapter 4 verse 2. Preach the word. Be instant in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine.
So it says exhort, meaning to communicate, connect with one another. Be instant. So if you see, if I see live going on, hey man, you gotta lock in, bro. You're getting too comfortable. Because that's another thing where the scriptures talk about says, Jeshurun, which is Israel, wax fat and kicked. Meaning when things go good, you let your guard down. I'm not telling you to to not. ease up and relax. What I'm saying is not to fall into complacency or idleness. We're always supposed to be moving and abounding. But when it comes to when things go according to plan, it's easy for us to get sloppy. It's easy for us to, man, I could splurge here. I could put some money here, even though you know good and well you don't got the proper finances for when the season hits. It's important that we're aware of that too. What I give you?
Verse 2.
Yes, Sirach chapter 5, verse 7. So it's important that we stay prepared and that we don't procrastinate. Because I have a habit of doing that too. When you procrastinate, when I procrastinate, it's because things went according to plan. And so you build a habit because, I waited before and it worked and I won during that time. So maybe I could wait again and I might win again. And you build up a habit of waiting to the last minute, thinking that you're going to thrive. And the Most High is going to throw that curveball like, hey, everything's going to go left because you didn't plan. You didn't prepare for the situation. You didn't rehearse. You didn't practice. And now everything's going left because you wasn't ready. What you got out?
The book of Sirach, chapter 5, verse 7. Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day.
So it says, if you have a moment to make something happen, do it immediately. We have a habit, man, I'm going to just wait. I got an assignment due 2 months from now. And it's a lot of study. It's a lot of research. I was a sociology minor, so I had to read a lot. But if I procrastinated, which I did, I waited till the last 3 days. Started cramming everything. But you know what happened? I passed and I got an A. And so the thing is, what happens when you get an A? You pass. You're like, man, I feel like I can do this again. Until that one day you get that one class, well, you wait till the last minute again. And your professor's not as lenient. You can't smooth talk your way through. You can't do none of that. Nah, fail. Re-enroll next semester. That's the grace of the Most High. Sometimes the Most High might give you that opportunity. Like, okay, you procrastinated, you still won. I'm gonna give you that. Let's see if you're gonna practice this time. Let's see if you're gonna make something happen this time. The reason why we're stressed because we waited to the last minute. You could have prepped. You didn't eat you didn't eat anything because you didn't prepare the food last night. That was me. Like, I got to get up. I'm just talking about my whole life, but nonetheless, getting up. My work schedule is like really early, so if I don't prep, if I don't do things, I'm gonna miss out on my food, and I'm gonna have to buy fast food and just eat terrible instead of just cooking. And so I was like, okay, let me just make sure I prepare and handle things right now. That way, I'm not running around in my apartment trying to make a quick meal and running late for work. So it's important that you prioritize those things. That way, when I get to work, all I'm doing is focus on work. I'm not worried about, dang, did I leave the iron on? Did I leave the stove on? Damn, where's my shoe at? Where my all kind of stuff. So it's important that, it may be tedious initially, but it's way better than what you're going to go through if you wait to the last minute. So the Most High saying, just handle it right now. Don't tarry to turn. Even when it comes to the Most High, don't wait to the last minute. A lot of us think, oh, man, I could do whatever I want. I could go out there in the world and do whatever it is, and then come back to the Most High the last minute. All right. Get Matthew chapter 25, verse 1. We think because the Most High was showed grace to us before that he's always going to be showing grace. You may be late on rent. Your landlord may be, show grace for a moment, but he doesn't have to show you grace every time. So the same thing goes for the Most High. Like, okay, you late, man. What's up? I need you to pay up. Pay what you owe. And you empty-handed, eviction is for sure. You're going to see that red slip on your door. Read.
The book of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 1. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps, and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps, and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps.
So there was 5 that was prepared, meaning they wasn't worried about what was gonna happen, but they made sure that when things do happen, that they had everything in order. And then you had 5 that was just lackadaisical. I'm gonna make it happen whenever they waited to the last minute. And so read on.
While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept.
Mm-hmm.
And at midnight there was a cry made, behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, give us of your oil, for our lamps are going out.
So now you find yourself asking somebody else for their blessing, asking them for whatever it is that they prepare for themselves, because you didn't take the time to prepare, and you had the time. And now you worried, now you frustrated, and now you like, hey man, ain't we boys? And we supposed to be homies. But you could have prepared a long time ago. While I was preparing, I could have been preparing, and vice versa. While I was preparing, I could have been preparing. But instead, waiting till the last minute. Now you're running around trying to find some oil for your lamp. This happens in whatever it is that we're going through. You had at work, your boss man told you that, hey, had this by the end of the week, and you waited till Thursday. Like, I'm gonna do this. I can move slow. I'm gonna just listen to music, chill. And now you don't got a job because you waited, or you might have did the task, but you half-assed it, and so you cut corners. And there's certain jobs you just can't cut corners, like your job, right? Whatever you cut corners.
Nah, yeah, can't do that. Then you end up fired, and then the excuse is always, man, they hating on me, bro.
Exactly.
Man, they hating. They just wanted to get me out of there. Nah, it's the work you was putting in.
That's how you justify your lack of effort. But yeah, nonetheless, the whole overall principle of this parable is to prepare. Meaning, we don't know when Christ is coming back. We don't know when any certain things in the future happens. But the thing is always to be prepared for it. If we get a warning, didn't Christ say, he said, look, I come as a thief. If the man of the house knew when the thief was coming, wouldn't he prepare? Like me telling my gazelle, hey, I'm gonna rob you tonight at 9 o'clock. Are you gonna go to sleep? You're like, hey man, Mac BS, and he always say that. Exactly. So the same thing goes with our salvation and how we prepare for life too. Christ told you, look, it's a short thing. I'm coming back. These things will happen. But the thing is, I'm telling you they're going to happen. So be prepared. When your boss tells you to do a assignment, you're going to get fired if you don't do this assignment. I'm not trying to have no sympathy. I need it done. Hey, you know what, man? All this stuff happened. You're fired. You're fired. It's just like that. And no emotion. I work at HR. It becomes second nature because everybody has excuses. Hey, bro, you fired. Oh, I got a family. You're fired, bro. Because you could have handled business and you didn't. And so now you're interfering with me providing for my family. When we both could have provided for our family, we both just handled business. So that's what the Most High is saying. Look, handle your responsibilities. Don't wait till the last minute. Don't wait till things go left for you to try to make things right. Nah, handle it right now. Get James chapter 3, verse 13.
The book of James, chapter 3, verse 13. Who is a wise man and endued with knowledge among you? Mm-hmm. Let him show out of a good conversation his works with meekness and wisdom. But if ye have bitter envying and strife in your hearts, glory not and lie not against the truth. So
now this is what's going on. The Most High is saying to remove that envy and remove the strife. If you see your brother doing good, congratulate your brother. Even if you're going through a negative situation, don't hate, because the Most High is looking at that too. If you see your brother, hey, that brother doing, congratulate your brother, because it's like a virus. You feel like low key weird by telling people that you're doing good in life, because you know how certain people are gonna respond. It shouldn't be like that. It should be like, man, I'm doing good, man. Hey, man, congratulations. And the Most High looks at that like, hey, man, you was looking out for, you was happy for your brother while he was going through his come up. I'm gonna reward you too. But instead, some of us is like, man, that brother got that, huh? Oh, you think he on, huh? Yeah, all right. Just hating. Or you give a fake hey, congratulations, huh? Congratulations. And you don't really mean it. Because your heart is saying that you're not really honest about as far as what is going on. So the reason why you frustrated is because of envy. And you envy it, but you're not doing anything about to change the circumstance either. Right. You're coveting, man, I want what that brother got. But you're not doing nothing to change the situation. It's not to say you can't have the same thing. But the thing is, you're going about it the wrong way. Instead of, hey man, how'd you get that? Instead of getting game and just asking for information, now you're trying to pull your brother down. Or now you're just sitting in the corner moping and frustrated and sad, miserable, depressed, down. Now I'm just going all the adjective. Because you didn't do anything to change the circumstance. So now the Most High is saying, look, the things that we should focus on is having a form of humility. Focus on the truth. Focus on the love and the long suffering. Have a form of patience. When you're going through your negative situation, it's not going to last forever. Trust in the Most High. Read.
The book of James, chapter 3, verse 14. But if you have bitter envying and strife in your hearts, glory not and lie not against the truth. Mm-hmm. This wisdom descendeth not from above, but is earthly, sensual, devilish. For where envying and strife is, there is confusion in every evil work.
He said envying and strife is confusion. That's where the frustration comes from. Because as Live just broke down, when we scrolling through social media, you're just looking at everybody's lifestyle. You're looking at how everybody lives. When you see your brother doing good, you're looking at his lifestyle. And now instead of you like, man, I'm grateful for what I got, and you having a form of gratitude, this ain't my time right now. Right. Now you're envying your brother, and now you're frustrated. So the reason why you're frustrated is because you may be operating in a carnal mindset. It says it's devilish. Meaning you're operating off of the ways of the flesh. And the Most High saying, look, let that go. Right. Be grateful. Right. Be grateful. If you in a bucket, be grateful while you in that hoopty for right now. If you in a Benz, if you in a Ferrari, whatever it is, be grateful for you being in that Ferrari. If you in a mean cottage, if you in the trenches, you in a unit, like not in a unit. If you in a regular apartment and your brother's in a 2-story house, be grateful that you got a roof over your head. That's what the Most High is saying. Instead of, because it's easy, like I said, it's not a matter of what's happening. It's a matter of how you respond to the things that's happening. That's what causes stress. Like in psychology, they went over like stress and stressors. So life is going to throw a whole bunch of stressors around you, but how you respond is how you move forward. So you can allow these things and allow them within you and bring stress to you, or you be like, yeah, I see that happening. I'm not going to let that throw me off. Oh, I see that little setback. I'm not going to let that throw me off. I'm going to lock in. I'm going to still stick to my goal. I'm going to still stick to whatever it is I got going. And I'm still grateful. So when we're grateful, the Most High sees that and he rewards us for that. Keep reading out all the way to verse 18.
Verse 17. But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, and easy to be entreated, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy.
Without partiality and without hypocrisy. If you want to succeed, the Most High says you got to lock in. There ain't no partiality. You can't half step in this. What do you say? You can't be lukewarm in this. You can't. He said, I'd rather you be either cold or hot. Right. So whatever it is that you're going for, you have to lock in on that and remain focused and be diligent about it. Right. And then also have a form of like I mentioned, having a form of charity. Didn't it say have your hand out to take and to give? So meaning when it's time to give and you have that reward that the Most High bless you with, have a form of charity, share. Yeah. And when it's time to take and it's time for somebody to give to you, receive it. Right. Don't be when your brother's doing good, like, man, I want you to participate in the festivities too. Don't be hating. Because that happens too. Like your brother could be well off and he still wants you to be involved with his wins. Right. And then instead of you just enjoying it with him, now you hating. Like, man, I don't need it. Yeah, you do need it. Yeah, I can make it happen. Why would you turn down a handout when the Most High sent you that for a reason? Right. Damn. So we do that a lot when we ask the Most High for assistance because pride, because our arrogance and our ego, and we turn down those opportunities the Most High gives us. And sometimes it's through our brothers that we're envying. Sometimes it's through our sisters that we may be envying. What's up, Ike?
Kind of a good lesson. I was going to say when you was talking about association earlier, I remember when I was like in the 3rd, 4th grade growing up in New York, my grandma, she would always read me Proverbs 13:20 every day before I go to school. You know what I'm saying? Because she installed it in my head that association is very important. You know what I'm saying? You're around a bunch of motivated people, you're going to be motivated. You're around a bunch of negative people, you're going to be negative. You know what I'm saying? You're around a bunch of spiritual people, you're going to be spiritual. So it all comes down to the people that you associate yourself with. So, you know, this is a good lesson. Also, you know, Proverbs 13:20 is a very powerful scripture.
Let's read it. You can read it out. Oh, go ahead, read it out.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 20. He that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed.
Hey, that scripture speaks for itself. I don't even got to say nothing. It's that simple. So just be mindful of who we're associating ourselves with. If I want to be better, I want to surround myself with people that want to improve. If I want to be the same, if I want to be mediocre, I'm going to surround myself around mediocre people. If I want bread, if I want to be financially stable. You know, hey, me and Love, this is all we talk about. Anytime I hit him up, hey, man, I got this idea. We're trying to improve. We cut from the same cloth. We've been through the same thing. And so now we're going to talk about, okay, when we're going through a negative situation, how we get out of that situation. Okay, hey, La, I'm up. La, hit me up. Hey, I'm up. Hey, let's enjoy these fruits. All right. So that's how it should be within brotherhood. Like when things is going good, be with your brothers. Have a good time. When things is not going as expected, we're still turning up. We're still having a good time. So that's what the Most High is really relaying, is that just enjoy where you are, regardless of what you're going through. Be grateful. Have a form of gratitude. When it's your time, it's your time. And so now read verse 18 and we're going to close it out.
The book of James, chapter 3, verse 18. And the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace of them that make peace.
Now, if you find yourself stressed out, you find yourself worried and troubled, the Most High says you get peace by sowing peace. You get what do you say? You reap what you sow. Yeah. So these things come back to you. As I may mention, like when your brother's going through his blessing and you are supporting your brother and you're genuinely happy for your brother, Most High sees those things and he'll reward you in that same fashion, if not better, to whatever it is that you desire. But now if your brother's going through something and he's doing good and you're envious and so much you want to see the brother fail and so much, what do you think the Most High is going to do to you? Right. And so now if you find yourself troubled or worried or frustrated, you got to actually acknowledge, what are you frustrated about? And most of the time it's you operating out of the faith of the Most High. And so the Most High is saying, look, if you want peace, you got to operate in peace. And that's how, we'll alleviate ourselves from, those frustrations. So yeah, I'm gonna leave that. We're gonna conclude class. You got something?
Oh no, I was just nothing major, but this is in the spirit because I was talking with Shaquat and the Manawaf earlier, and the question that was posed was like, how Christ said, he was talking to the Pharisees and said, if you have faith of a mustard seed, right, you'll be able to do such great things. Right. But then what I realized with lessons like this, do we really have faith as a mustard seed? Like not even that minimal amount, right? And we have to increase our faith. But what did that James say? So you increase it through the patience of the trials that you go through. Right. So yeah, no, I mean, make sure y'all taking notes. Y'all took notes for this and conceptualize it. So when you go through your problems, now you can increase in your faith, right? So yeah, no, good lesson.
So yeah, don't be a hater, but that's that. Salam. All right, y'all. So we're gonna conclude with the prayer. Hamadi and Wapanya Hakudan, which means stand and face the east. All right, Shalom, family online. Thank you for tuning in. Until next week, enjoy the rest of your Sabbath. What, just leave the studio? Oh, Instagram.